Hello and welcome to the video to discuss the syllabus for the course. I wanted to cover this in some detail. We won't go through everything, but so I encourage you to read through the syllabus at your own pace so that you understand the expectations of you during this course and what are the requirements so that you can be successful as possible in going through the Introduction to Programming coursework. I will hit some highlights as we go through, and there's some things I'm going to point out. I won't, like I said before, I'm not going to read everything, but I'm going to hit some of the highlights as we go through. But please read through this, read the whole thing so that you understand what is expected of you and what are the requirements to pass and be successful as possible in this course. So first thing, when you go through this, you will see that my information is at the top of how to get a hold of me, email, phone, office location, and then underneath that I have my office hours. Now, this particular example here, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, this is subject to change. Each semester we have a different schedule, so pay attention to what the changes are there. I will let you know when my office hours are posted and what they are. I'll change this with each semester as my schedule changes. So just pay attention to what those office hours are so that you know when I'm available to help you out. Then you have the course information. Now this, again, based on the semester, is subject to change. The start and end dates and meeting times and locations and all that. So we will change this as need be for each course, but just so you know where that's at. Then we have the description of the course. This course is meant to teach you Introduction to Programming, to teach you concepts of programming. We use JavaScript in order to do that, so we're kind of killing two birds with one stone, so to speak, where what we're attempting to do is teach you programming concepts that you can use in multiple languages. JavaScript is a very popular language used in a lot of different venues, so learning JavaScript is a great way to do that. It's a great way to get your foot in the door with programming. Then you have your textbook. Now, just so you know, as we go through this course, the textbook here that we have, I'm going to use those in the course. You will not find assignments in that textbook, but it's a great book to go through to learn JavaScript and wrap your mind around some of the concepts, and I will use some of those in class during lectures and showing you some things. But as far as the learning plans go, the learning plans are self-contained, so all the assignments and labs will be within the learning plans themselves. Now, feel free to use a USB drive to keep track of your files. You should have an H drive to also have your files. Feel free to use Dropbox, and I have a link right here for Dropbox so that you can keep your files handy. That's pretty, I prefer that over a USB drive, so I don't have to keep track of a USB drive. Just anywhere where I go, I have an internet connection, I can access my files on Dropbox, so feel free to do that. Then you have the core abilities and competencies of this course, of what you're going to learn, what you're going to get out of this course as we go through. And then the grades. Of course, everyone wants to know what grades they're going to get. This is the breakdown of the grades, typical. And then how I'm going to assess. Here's how things are going to be assessed in this course. Now, one thing I will point out, that as we go through here, things are subject to change. There might be things we need to concentrate more on. There might be things we need to concentrate less on. Or you never know when you might have to change the schedule, you know, if we have bad weather or what have you. So things are subject to change in this syllabus. Just know that going in, and so yours may look a little differently for your particular semester. But here's how it basically works. As we go through the semester, you will have 6 learning plans that we will be going through. Each learning plan has different information and categories and stuff we're going to learn about, and they all build on one another. So things you learn in Learning Plan 1, you're still going to be using by the time you get to Learning Plan 6. So it's important that you have a good comprehension of each learning plan as we progress through the course. There are different ways I'm going to assess that. One will be discussion boards. It's a good way to interact with each other and think through some of the things that you're going to learn and discuss with each of your fellow students. The other thing will be the assignments. Each learning plan will have assignments that you will do and required to pass, and I'll show you what those look like. And then you will have projects. Each learning plan will have projects in it. So right now that says 5, you're actually going to have 6. No, 5, sorry, excuse me. The first learning plan does not have a project. So we have 5 projects to go through. And what those projects are, they're at the end of each learning plans 2 through 6. They kind of bring everything together. So the individual assignments, you may have, let's say, 3 assignments in a learning plan on different topics, and then the project will bring all 3 of those assignments together into one project to work on. Okay. Now, the required to pass here, I have it as at 100. Again, double check your particular semester's syllabus to see what this is set to. But I want to explain what the required to pass competency is, or that PAT. The reason I have that there is I want students to learn as much as possible to get them to be as successful as possible. And this course, I will tell you straight up, is not the easiest course you're going to take. It's a tough course. And it's this one, along with Object-Oriented Programming 1, are what we call our Make It or Break It courses, meaning these are going to be some tough courses for you to have to go through. But they're tough for a reason. If you can get through this course along with Loop 1, then more than likely you're in the right field. And so in order to do that, in order to make you as successful as possible throughout your tenure here at NTC, the basics, you're going to need that good solid foundation so you don't struggle in upper level classes. So that's why we have, for requirement to pass, a certain percentage set, a higher percentage. This is at 100%. Again, that's subject to change, so double check that. But what that's basically meaning is, in order to pass this course, as you're looking at, you have to do every single assignment. It's even if you're getting an A, and you say, okay, I'm getting an A, I'm not going to do the last project, you need to do that, or you're not going to pass the course. So that's we're doing that because every single learning plan, every single assignment in this particular course is used throughout other courses. So I want to make sure you have a solid foundation before you go to other courses. Then we have here our program goals, exceptions. I'm not going to read through that. I'll let you read through that about success. Now, in order to be successful in the programming in the IT field, there are various things that you have to do more than just program. Working with others, working on a team. We have courses here at NTC designed to help you with that. But read through those. Those are very helpful. And then some of the things that I'm requiring from you. Attendance. Unless you're taking this course online, the attendance is very important. The reason why is you're going to get vital help when you attend. So I expect you to be here, to go through some things, to work with others, to be able to take advantage of the lab time we have together and the work time we have together. Because like I said, I want you to be as successful as possible, and attending is vital to that. Now, late work. I want to spend some time talking a little bit about this late work component. When you work in the IT industry, you will be required to meet deadlines, and some of those deadlines are pretty tight. For example, in the IT world, we program using a methodology known as Agile development. Agile development requires quick turnaround on deliverables, anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 weeks, so 20 days, 10 days to 20 days, business days that is. So if you work for a firm that has a 10-day sprint, that's what they're called, the sprints, the little amount of time you have to work, you have to have a deliverable ready, a functioning, working product, coding, ready to go in 10 business days, 2 weeks. There's not a lot of time there for slacking off, not a lot of time there for, not prioritizing and doing things correctly. So we want to make sure you understand it is critical that you meet deadlines. The other thing is sometimes we'll go through things during class that pertain directly to the assignment, and it's not fair to those that have put in the time and effort and work to turn something in on time with somebody who hasn't and them get the same grade. So here are the rules for the late work. If you do not turn any work in the first 2 weeks, you're going to be removed from the course. You're going to be with a graded no-show. If you turn in work late, automatic 50% deduction. You will lose half your points automatically. And again, the reason we do that is, well, I want you to meet deadlines, and I want you to not have an unfair advantage of those people that meet the deadlines. So logic tells you if you're consistently late with your work, you're not going to pass this course. You need to turn in your work on time. If work is submitted more than 2 weeks late, no credit whatsoever. So just know that I will still accept late work and get 50%. That's a lot better than receiving none. So make sure if you're going to be late, you turn that in. In the last 2 weeks of class, no late work whatsoever. When you get to the end of this course ramps up really high towards the end of this semester. So late work is not going to be acceptable. You're going to have all your work done and everything for the last 2 weeks of class. So as of today, we don't have any quizzes or tests, but I have that in there just in case I decide to add some. So bottom line, I cannot stress enough, get your work in on time. That way you will be as successful as possible. Now, I have had students that said, well, I'm struggling. Please, if you're struggling with something and you can't understand it, talk to me. Go to take advantage of tutoring labs and our lab times during class and my office hours and things like that. I really don't want you struggling to the point where you're stressing out beyond belief. This class is going to have enough stress with it, with just the regular work. You shouldn't have to add any to that. So if you are struggling with something, contact me. Now what that means is you're going to have to prioritize your time. For example, I'm on Skype, and so you will have my Skype contact information. All of our assignments are due by midnight the night before class. So if we have a class on a Tuesday, it's going to be due midnight on Monday, before midnight on Monday night. And the reason we do that is, like I said, we cover things in class the next day typically. So with that being said, you're going to have to plan your time. So if you're trying to crank through something and you just can't get it, and it's 11:45 on a Monday and that's due at midnight, you're not going to be able to get a hold of me. So try to plan accordingly so that does not happen. I don't want you in that situation. Now, all this being said, as much as I've stressed the importance of not turning things in late, if something does happen, I've had students that have had deaths in the family and things like that. Those are things that are beyond your control. I'm not going to penalize somebody for that. So if things do happen like that, and I'm not talking about just lack of planning, but I'm talking about life events, let me know. I'll work with you on that. Okay? So, again, you're expected to, you're going to have to put some time in on this course. I think you'll find that in the beginning of the semester it's going to be less amount of time versus the end of the semester you're going to be spending quite a bit more time, but it probably averages out to 2 to 3 hours per credit per week. So just get used to that. The other thing is attention to detail. Make sure that you are working on your assignments to a level that when you turn them in, you're proud of them. You should be proud of the work you do. So make sure you do that. Always test your work and things like that. As we go through, you'll see how I'll teach you how to do that so that you can make sure what you're turning in is going to receive a good grade. Okay, and we're trying to emulate a workplace environment, so I will not tolerate in class any obscene language or being rude or talking over or bullying or anything like that. So I will take action on that if that occurs. Okay. Now again, I will try to be as responsive as possible to you. Like I said, I have my phone, my office hours, email, Skype. If I try to respond within 24 hours typically. If it's Skype, if I don't respond almost immediately, then I'm probably not sitting at my computer or on my device that has Skype on it. I usually respond pretty quickly on that, and I have a lot of students that take advantage of that. Again, I want you to attend and I want you to participate. Ask questions. Make sure you understand the material. Now this is a little different if you're an online learner or virtual college versus being face-to-face. It's not like in the middle of a lecture you can ask questions, but these lectures are recorded. What I suggest you may do is perhaps listen to the lectures more than once, or pause it and rewind it, or as you're going through, if you have a question, jot it down, shoot me an email. Hey, you said this in this lecture, I don't understand it. Now one thing I would ask, if you're asking me a question from a recording, put on there what the recording was, because you may be listening to several different recordings during the learning plan, what the recording was, and approximately how far into the recording it was where I made the statement that you are confused about. That way I can go to it, find it, listen to it to refresh my memory, and then get back to you with an answer. Okay? Again, we have some core abilities. I referenced those earlier, and student behavior and all that stuff. This is college. I'm expecting people to act like adults, and so, you know, you're supposed to be adults, so I expect you to be honest academically and adhere to the rules and follow the deadlines and things like that. But this information is here for guidelines on how do you get through things. Now, I mentioned earlier, if you have issues, support. We have tutoring, we have the Learning Center, a whole bunch of stuff available to make you successful. Please take advantage of these. Nothing hurts me more than to have a student say, well, I've been struggling for a while. Don't do that to yourself. If there's something you're not understanding, if you need tutoring, get tutoring. IT sometimes can be difficult. I've been in this industry for over 20 years, and there's things I still struggle with. So get help if you need it. If you have any special needs, ADA accommodations, make me aware of those, and I will do my best to accommodate you on that. A lot of communications we have will be through your student email. Make sure you check your NTC email a lot. There's also a student help desk to help you out. Okay? I mentioned this before, but any course revisions, there's times where I may need to change the schedule or whatever based on where we're at and how we're learning and all that. I will communicate those to you as quickly as possible because I want you to be successful in this course. Okay? If you have any questions on the syllabus, again, I didn't go through it line by line. I expect you to read it, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll do what I can to answer your questions. Thank you, and have fun this year.